Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Thursday, the 12th of March. Thanks for joining me. I'm using the amazing Deviant Moon Tarot. All the characters look a bit like this. It's rather unusual. So it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I really like these cards and images. Oops. Let's have a look at what Thursday the 12th is about. These readings are for all signs of the zodiac. They're for everyone who watches. What I do is I set the intention, I ask the cards, what is Thursday the 12th going to be about and what's it going to be like? And how can we use that energy to our advantage and how can we make the most of this? Let's see what the cards have to say about that. Got the Five of Pentacles. The Two of Cups and the Queen of Wands. Interesting, Two of Cups. I've never seen anything quite like that. Nor have I seen anything quite like that. So, amazing. That's the great thing about the tarot. You can always see different versions. They always add something, even if it's as weird as this. Now, let me try and make sense of these cards. We've got the Five of Pentacles, the Two of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. So we have a court card, that is fire. Then we have a minor arcana card, that's water. And then we have a minor arcana card, that's pentacles. So that's earth, cups, water. So the Five of Pentacles, first of all, means that this stained glass window is part of a church, you see? And we've got the entrance to the church, and we've got this eye watching who is coming in. And we've got this woman who's naked and who's creeping around, one eye closed, one eye open, and she's not able to get in. That eye sees her, and it doesn't look particularly friendly, and she's sneaking around. I think because that eye, if it sees her, not only does she have hard times and there's difficulty and there may be illness, but what I'm getting in this tarot deck is that the church may actually then go after her and hunt her down for whatever crime she may have committed, nudity or having one eye or whatever ridiculous crap they come up with. Factory chimneys in the back, so she works to stay alive and she has to dodge this institution. So think of the church in this card as the Gestapo almost, watching and looking. If you're not part of us, you're against us. And she doesn't look in great shape either. So this whole pressure and what you ought to do and what you really want to do and sneaking around, it's just exhausting. Second card is the Two of Cups, which is a temporary love, a passion, a desire, two things coming together and being in love and then moving on. And we have death and we have kind of Lilith, the black moon. So it's your ego and your feelings, your passions, engaging in something that makes you feel better, because you feel dead inside, so you try and drink to feel better, you try and have sex to feel better, you try and sneak around and not get caught and feel better, you go shopping, you gamble, you drink, you smoke, all of those things to make you feel better. The clocks are ticking. So these two cards together say, not only is there something wrong with you, you're a reject, but they also say that there's no hope in terms of fulfilling your life purpose if your life purpose is to experience love. What they're saying is that any kind of love you run into today, or there's the real potential for you to use people or use other things to make yourself safer and feel better. So, for instance, she may just rob someone's clothes so they don't come after her and leave her alone. So this is like, and also what we need to remember is that this would not be tolerated by the institution that's causing all this hardship to the people. This kind of relationship, I mean, there's blood there. It's like a lusty, sensual relationship, whatever it may be. That would be frowned upon as well. So I really think that today you realize that not everybody is your friend, and you become aware of certain things that make life harder for you, or you become aware of things in yourself that you use to fill that hole in the soul, that, you know, that existential angst, that discomfort of living. A lot of philosophers have said it better than I have. But it's that some people do have addiction, and we are extreme in this sense. But a lot of people do this too. So, oh, I lost a job, I'll go shopping to make myself feel better. Oh, I've just had some bad news, I'll go gamble to get that kick from the gambling, just to fix my feelings. When you find yourself fixing your feelings today, have a very clear look and realize that if any I is important, and if any I is worth using, it's your personal I, yours. To look around and to say, this institution is making life hell, not just for me, but for everyone else. Let's get together, all the factory workers. We're on our last legs. They haven't been feeding us. But let's get together and knock this down, because we will no longer be oppressed. The eye can be put on you as well, or you might be forced to look at yourself. If you get caught for public lewdness, you may realize that you have a bit of a sex addict problem, because you have to have sex in public places just to feel normal. I mean, that's a real thing. So it's a wonderful day to uncover hidden truths within yourself, dark things within yourself that you'd rather avoid. So don't close the eye, use it, be aware, and let the day show you what it wants you to see. And by doing that, you're able to let a part of you that no longer serves you, you're able to let that die. And you don't feel this pressure and like you have to sneak around. You feel liberated. And because of that, you turn into the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is the woman who has mastered her will, her life passion, by using this spear. So she's not always peaceful and love, and sometimes she's like, do you know what? I'm going to take my spear and I'm going to shove it into that eye so these people stop going after me. Yes, I have two breasts. Yes, they're lopsided. Stop persecuting me for them. This woman has them the right way around, and she's being persecuted as well. So you can't make these people happy, right? So she's decided, I'm going to take my spear, I'm going to put it in that eye. I see in myself today, the dark part of myself, for example, dark part of myself, is that I don't stand up for myself. I let myself be bullied by society's rules. And I try and fit into what society says. So boys don't cry, so I'm not going to cry. And boys don't show feelings, so I'm going to not show feelings. You know, if you go on Netflix, the stuff they're churning out, Netflix is the biggest thing in the world right now, and they're just churning out things and things and things. And all of the things have these stereotypes that I really thought would change by now. We have a man who literally says, I don't have the words. So the men are always tough and they're suffering and they don't have the words. And that is the John Wayne stereotype of masculinity. You're tough, you don't talk about your feelings. And whose fault is that? Is it society's fault? Is it men's fault for continuing to buy into it? Is it women's fault for demanding that the men behave a certain way? Or vice versa, the women have to behave a certain way in our culture, society. And the fact that we've got a woman here and we've got the Queen of Wands here and this dark side, I think especially there's a lot of female energy here. We've got this heavy full moon up here. We've got the moon there and the full moon. So it's illuminating something within yourself that no longer serves you, that makes you feel like you're ashamed or you have to hide, or if someone saw you doing this, you'd be in trouble, or you couldn't live with yourself. Say, do you know what? This is who I am. This is a great day for self-acceptance. Wow, this is a great day for anyone who's struggling with their sexuality to realize, do you know what? Yes, I am bi. Or, do you know what? Yes, I may be bi. I'm going to be willing to look into that, and maybe I'll experiment. You don't have to do anything today, but today you can see inside of yourself in matters of love, in matters of shame, in matters of the things inside of you that are dark and that come from a place of fear and self-preservation, like the gambling and the drinking, so that emotionally you won't crumble. That's the fear. But the reality is that it's actually your solution that you pick, the booze or the pills or whatever. Those are the ones that, yes, in the moment, save your emotions there by changing them. But in the long run, those crutches then end up killing you. So what crutches do you use to get through life? You don't need those anymore. Let your crutches fall aside. You are the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is someone who has figured out her life purpose. The full moon is shining on her and she knows exactly what she's doing. So this is the evolved version of this person. She stopped sneaking around in the shadows. She's toppled the powers that be. She's looked within herself and said, I have nothing to be ashamed of. I am lovable. I deserve love. And I'm also see these things within myself, for example, where I push away love, or I have made a situation temporary because I was the one who walked out and ended it. And I have a tendency to do that. You see yourself, you win the war against the institution today. So today is a David and Goliath day, you versus the big thing. So I could say the new masculinity is a masculinity that involves no competition, which totally wouldn't work because that's a natural part of, that's what masculinity really is based around, power and competition and seeing who's the best. We've got loads of females though, and it's a receptive energy. So by receiving by listening to your feelings and your passions, you are going to not only things that prevent you from achieving your life mission and what you love to do, but you also have 4 arms. You're more practical than ever to actually now do these things and to get on with what you love. You clothe yourself the way you like. You crown yourself because there is no more shame. So if you're coming out of the closet today, it's a great day for that because you realize that you are who you are and there's nothing to be ashamed of. I was so used to being ashamed of who I was that when I was in the hospital, in rehab in 2010 for alcoholism, in one of the aftercare sessions, I said, well, how am I going to tell my parents that I'm an alcoholic? Are they still going to love me? Because I was so used to that from the gay thing, you know? And the counselor just looked at me and he said, how do you tell your parents? You just tell your parents that you have the mental illness of addiction and you're no longer drinking. And that's the end of it. What's love got to do with any of that? But you see, there are certain people like myself, and I'm sure some of you out there listening, who have always felt targeted by the church, for example, or society. I was always out. At boarding school, I was called the German Nazi, so that was out. Then I realized I was gay. I was even more away from the society and what boys traditionally did. I carried my books the wrong way. I couldn't play rugby, hockey, or cricket. I could swim, but that's more neutral, I suppose. So yes, I know what it feels like to feel disenfranchised and to be to not have that validation, and it feels horrible. But the reality is, it's those of us who aren't validated by society who can be unique thinkers, because we're outside of society, we're on the fringes, and we're free to do and say what we like. And I think that it's individuals who come up with unique, brilliant ideas. I have yet to see the institution that comes up with the brilliant, unique, spontaneous idea. It's always based on an individual, and then the institution surrounds that individual and has nothing to do with the individual anymore. So like Jesus, love your neighbor, and then we end up with the Catholic Church, for God's sake. I mean, it's the worst. So it's the worst in the sense of we have this message of love everyone, love thy neighbor, and then the Catholic Church is, if you divorce, you will be shunned, and if you all these stupid rules which basically end up in not loving your neighbor, which end up harming your neighbor. So you go your own way today. Look at what you love. You're totally illuminated in terms of yourself. What you love, what you don't love, how to let go of the things you don't love, how to embrace the things you do love, to see that you're flawed like all of us, that you're unhealed like all of us. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We all have dual sides to our nature. We all have the higher selves and we all have the ego. And you accept that as fine and good. And you stand in your power today and you realize who you are. So it's a great day for self-mastery, self-knowledge, and changing your practical circumstances in the areas of love and work. But it starts with inner work by putting the eye inwards instead of outwards, judging other people, saying, oh, they're not welcome, they're not welcome, they're not welcome. You look at yourself, and then by seeing yourself, the torch here, full on, you light this up and you see certain things which cause you to bleed may not be the best thing forward. And for some reason you haven't seen it until now, but today you see it and you let go of it. Boom. And you become the queen, you're free, you're liberated, you love your life, and you're living your life the way you want it to live. So you have the chance to do that today. Number one, we've got 5 and 2 is 7 and 1 is 8. 8 is power in numerology. So you have the power, not the institution. Don't give your power away. Don't fall into the trap of thinking everyone else has the power. You have the power. You have the power. So have a wonderful day. Use your power to make yourself the queen. You shape your life the way you want it. You don't adapt and compromise and make life the way other people want it today, especially if it harms you or hurts you. You make it what you love. Have an amazing, amazing day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please visit me on the website, gregoryscott.com. Once you're there, click on the Book Your Reading Now button on the front page to order a reading with me. In my personal readings, I can answer any of your questions. So if you're at a crossroads, life purpose, vocational aptitudes, love, money, anything at all. Living, where to live, astrocartography, chart rectification. The chart rectification, I draw up your astrology chart in my personal reading. So I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, then please order a rectification. You send me 10 or more life events and I can work out your time of birth. It's really useful because it makes the chart much more accurate. So get in touch for a personal reading, gregoryscott.com. Have a wonderful day. Hit the subscribe button and share the video if you like it. And I'll speak to you tomorrow.